Hey, all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here. It's hot, extremely hot here in Tennessee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all something, especially those of you who are trying to develop a homestead or community, see what the importance is of having someone who actually will go out and do this painstaking task to learn a skill and how invaluable it is on a community. One of the skills that's invaluable on the community is having someone who knows how to weld. We got Teacher Shane right here. Of course, he's got his, hey, shalom, teacher. He got his little pulley here, and what he's doing is pulling his rack up to bring it up center. Now, what Teacher Shane has done, because we talked about it, because we have this big old metal storage building, correct? And I talked about how we need to utilize the airspace in this place. Because, I mean, if you can only just stack stuff on the floor, like it is right here, and then only have it to the point where it's uneven and all this other stuff, and you can't utilize the airspace up as tall as you can, what good is it having a building this tall if you can't utilize it? So Brother Bud began to tell me that it will cost us about, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 if we went out and bought these racks. Well, of course, my advice was, I said, get with Teacher Shane, because he knows how to weld. Get with him, and let's see what type of design he can come up with, and I'm going to show y'all. What Teacher Shane is doing right here is he's actually has welded these beams right here to the actual metal of the steel frame building itself. Where do we get this metal from? Well, we accumulated this metal over a period of time here on this land. And the one thing you don't ever want to do is if you ever have an opportunity to get some like angle iron, some metal like this, to where you can always use this metal like this, especially if you're going to expand a building greater than 30 feet that's supposed to go and buy an LBLs. But Teacher Shane has come up with a design for us to be able to store our lumber on these racks right here and keep the building intact. And I'm talking strong. And I don't know, Teacher Shane, how much money have we got invested in this so far that you can think of?
Probably grinding wheels, welding rods, electricity, and
oxygen.
That's about it. Oxygen,
Acetylene.
Yeah, that's about the gist of it. Yeah.
How much you would say that would be?
I would say we're looking at around $100, $200, around in that ballpark.
All right, so y'all think about that for a second. We got a brother here that's skilled at welding. Extremely skilled. Know what the hell he's doing, right? And that's why I say when you live on a community, somebody should be out there always trying to learn something that's going to benefit the community. You can see the angle iron right here. So you think about this for a second. $100, $200 as opposed to $20,000 or $30,000. And that's not including, of course, you know, since we do our own labor out here, we don't even involve labor in it because it's our home. It's what we do. And so since labor is not free because we're also, you know, we definitely, again, live here, but we work here. This is our home. You spend about $200, $300, have somebody who is willing to take the painstaking task of knowing how to do all this stuff, learning, and this is what you can end up producing. That's like when myself got here, I didn't know how to do nothing. I learned how to frame homes, do concrete work, block work. That's my main forte here. Elder Doug does electricity and plumbing. Teacher Shane the welding. And then long time ago, a few years ago, Brother Bud comes here as a professional builder, knowing exactly what he's doing. And you put all that together, and then you teach a couple of brothers. Now, I got something unique I need to add. When I'm talking about these brothers right here, I want y'all to listen to me real close. We learned how to do all this stuff. Brother Bud learned in his 20s. He's in his mid-50s now. Brother Saint learned this in his teens. He's in his mid-50s now. I learned what I know in my 30s, and I'm in my mid-50s now. And Elder Doug is 60. So what am I saying now? I'm saying, where is the spirit of this day, time, and hour to where you actually have men who want to learn how to do stuff? Where is it at? Because we're getting old, and we don't have the same, we still have the same drive and determination, but the body, it ain't going along with our minds. Am I right on that?
You are right on that.
It is definitely not going along with our minds, but what I'm saying is, everybody who I just named to you, all these skilled individuals, mid-50s, 55 years old and older, what's going to happen when we're so old that we can't do nothing, and you got all these brothers sitting around, all they can do is carry a wheelbarrow of rocks, a shovel in their hand, and a pick? That's why when you got people like on the land here, our young brothers, that we got a brother that knows how to do electricity, got a brother that knows how to frame, a couple of brothers know how to frame, a couple of brothers know how to do block work. They're going to be learning how to do plumbing. We got all kinds of, the potential is so much. But what I'm trying to tell all of you is this, is that many of the brethren learned these skills prior to moving to a community. Oh yeah, well, they probably did in the world. So, hey, brothers had homesteads where they had to learn. What I'm saying is, everybody always comes up with an excuse, the reason why they can't do something. They always come up with an excuse and say, well, I didn't have the opportunity. No, you have to make the opportunity. You have to make the time. You know, when you get off from work and you still got them 4, 5, 6 hours before you go to bed, you got a couple hours that you can invest in yourself with wisdom and knowledge. You do. But I tell you, it's amazing to me that there's hardly little to any effort whatsoever at all of people trying to learn the skill of building. And so people often wonder, and they ask me over and over again, they say, well, Pastor Dowell, where do you get the money to do all this? Again, we are on a community. We are a family here. It ain't the question where I get the money, because all of us contribute. The question is this. You know, and many of you who have actually purchased homes, and if you ever built anything, you know that labor costs more than to actually build it. With us, we don't have to pay that labor. You know why? Because we know how to build. So when you look at all these buildings out here, you look at the things that we got going on, and mind you, things look rough up here right now because we're developing a shop, we're developing storage rooms, we're developing a brand new home, we're developing even more of a place over here to store things that we've already purchased in the past. We got a lot of things we're developing. But when you look at this, we did not hire out any of this. We did not hire out the concrete work. We did not hire out the block work. We didn't hire out the framing work. We did not hire out the welding work. We didn't hire out anything at all. That's what I'm getting to. And most people say, well, I can't do it. That's because you never even tried to learn how to do it. When I used to work out there in the world, what I did was on my way home, I would call my wife and I would tell her, Mother Carol, I would say, look, just put my plate up and save it for a little bit later. I'm going to be maybe a couple hours, maybe 3 hours late, 2 or 3 hours late home. Okay. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing, I found a crew that's actually framing up a home. And I went up to them and asked them, can I help them out? Can I work? They said, well, we're not hired. I told them, I said, I'm not here to be hired. I just want to be able to gain the knowledge and gain the wisdom. And so I cannot tell you how many times that people would be out building or doing something. And I would go up there and volunteer to help them out. Of course, they would give me a lot of the grunt work, but I had the mind to be able to watch them. And then when I had the opportunity afforded to me to ask questions, I could ask questions. And when they allow me to ask questions, I ask questions and I learn. That's what I'm saying. People have got to learn how to inconvenience yourself. And now you see the reason why people have no trouble whatsoever at all following Pastor Dowell, because I set the example. And not only have I set the example, but I told you whatever you see in me, do. And some people are trying to imply it and some are not. In other words, I did have to inconvenience myself. I couldn't just sit up there and say, well, I had a job. And then when I get home, I'm just going to do what all other Americans do. No. When I got off the job, when I got off to work, whatever it is, I went out to learn how to do what we're doing. That's what I did. I went out to learn how to do what we're doing. No excuses whatsoever at all. None. And as a result, this is where we are today. And make no mistake about it. Everything that you see us doing, yeah, we'll be able to enjoy it and make things fine and good that I wish I could do. I wish I could have had all this done in my 30s so I could work a little bit less. Sure, can't cry with spilt milk though. We're here. But the next generation, if we train them right and get the right ones with the right spirit in it, they'll be able to definitely be thankful and benefit from everything that we've been able to work and build for them. And that's what it's all about. Laying up for your children's children. And we got a lot of children on this land, which is going to be the next generation. And we also got a lot of teaching to do, because it's better for them to learn it from us than to learn it from this world. And that's the truth, and that's the truth straightway. Don't want to bore y'all anymore, but what I'm trying to get to is this. It's telling y'all that you got to change your mind. You got to change your attitude and spirit and stop making excuses. There's an excuse for everything to not do nothing. Hey, let me finish this video on this. See a stack of OSB for those who are in building. Y'all know how much that's running today, right? It's like $45 a sheet. Well, I saw 2 years ago what was going to take place, right? What was going to be taking place. And we've been using this. We did have 4 stacks of this. Now we're down to this is what's left of what we had. I paid $5.88 a sheet in the wintertime for that. And since then, we've had multiple buildings to go up. And you don't think that's actually helped our pocket? It's helped out a lot. So anyway, I hope I said something to stimulate thought. That's all we're trying to do. Inspire, encourage. But let me tell you something. Just because you're in your 40s and 50s and 60s, it's never too late to learn. You can do like a lot of people do and cry, moan, and bawl and squall about, oh, I'm hurting. Oh, my knees hurt. My back hurt. Hey, there ain't a damn day I don't wake up that I'm hurting. I'm always working through pain every single day. What about you?
Every day. Every day. When you talked about it, the drive, I think it takes more drive at our age. Why? Because it just takes a whole lot more to make this body do what you need it to do.
You got it.
That's right.
You got it. What about it, bro, Shane?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any aches?
Plenty.
But they don't keep you from working, though, do they?
No, I press through.
Press through.
Push them governors back and press through, and thank y'all for the strength.
See, and that's why I keep talking about it. It's all about attitude. It's all about how you look and what you're going to be looking out for, because we can all sit up and say, oh, my back hurts. Oh. As soon as I get out there and as soon as I touch the first block, I'm hurting. As soon as you climb the first building, you're hurting. Matter of fact, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm hurting. How about that? As soon as I wake up in the morning. But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to get everybody, making, whining like a bunch of, let me just stop real quick. Let me go in this video real quick because hey, y'all have a blessed day out there, okay? Shalom, King coming.